rationalities and only doing things that are rational and wastage eradication. He also explained that in order to have a meaningful rationalization, we need to be mindful of the difference between the narrow colonial and the neo-colonial enclave economy of Uganda that's centered on the 3 C's and 3 T's, that is coffee, cotton, copper, tea, tobacco and tourism. According to the president, the broad-based vertically and horizontally integrated economy of Uganda under the NRM that aims at covering the whole spectrum of Uganda's huge potential. In regard to agriculture, President Museveni said that the broad-spectrum NRM-led economy will not confine itself to coffee, cotton, tea and tobacco. He revealed that the NRM is already promoting cash agricultural products such as coffee, tea, cotton, tobacco, bananas, maize, fruits, cocoa, cassava, Irish potatoes, sorghum, sweet potatoes and oilseeds sunflower, among others. President Museveni also said that the country is already producing all the different scales, which has enabled the country to weather the storm of the economic collapse in the world caused by the corona pandemic and the war in the Ukraine. To other news now, the commander of the Special Forces Command, Major General David Mugisha, has commended President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and also Commander-in-Chief of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, UPDF, for transforming the army into a capable, efficient and disciplined force that ensures national unity and security and promotes peace and stability across the region. Major General Mugisha made the remarks during the retirement ceremony of 31 SFC officers at SFC headquarters in Entebbe. The retirees included warrant officers Class 1, warrant officers Class 2, staff sergeants, corporals and privates. He also lauded the president for introducing a comprehensive retirement system for the gallant generals, senior and junior officers, describing it as a significant milestone in acknowledging their dedicated services. He further thanked the Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, for being instrumental in shaping the strategic direction and operational effectiveness of the UPDF. Additionally, he requested the retirees to live within their means and also continue cementing their strategic relationship with the Army. The Director, Human Resource Management, SFC, Colonel Mango Baraza, said retirement or discharge is one of the personnel management functions through proper administration, career management and a decent exit. The ceremony was also attended by brigade commanders, directors, senior and junior officers, among other invited guests. The Prime Minister of Uganda, Right Honourable Nabanja Robina, is in Dubai to officially open the 3rd Uganda-UAE Business Forum on behalf of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. The forum is organized under the theme Unlocking New Horizons for Economic Prosperity. The 3rd edition of the Uganda-UAE Business Forum is an annual event organized by the Uganda Embassy in Abu Dhabi and the Uganda Consulate General in Dubai and will be held from the 28th to the 31st of October 2024. Jingo Francis is in Abu Dhabi and filed the following report.
The Prime Minister Robina Nabanja is currently in the city of Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates to represent the President at the 3rd UAE Uganda Business Forum. The Premier is accompanied by the State Minister for Foreign Affairs, Johnny Mulimba, together with Uganda's Ambassador to the United Arab Emirates, Zake Wanume Kibedi. Addressing the gathering, Nabanja called on United Arab Emirates to further strengthen the bilateral relations between the two sister nations, especially trade between Uganda and the United Arab Emirates.
The relationship between Uganda and UAE has been anchored on economic and commercial diplomacy. And this indeed served as the rationale for opening of the Uganda embassy in in Abu Dhabi in 2009, and later the Uganda consulate in Dubai in 2022. Uganda's population here is about 150 people. And to me, this is a good relationship that we must build on.
On behalf of UAE, the State Minister for Foreign Affairs in charge of Africa, Sheikh Shabout bin Mubarak Al-Nahyan, emphasized UAE's commitment to collaborate with the African countries like Uganda to promote the trade.
For the UAE, our relationship with African partners is rooted in trust, respect, solidarity, and mutual understanding. We are unwaveringly committed to advancing our shared goals under the leadership of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the UAE, as we actively seek opportunities to support and strengthen our ties with our dear African nations.
As the entire globe continues to grapple with the effects of climate change, Sheikh Al-Nahyan said UAE is committed to be part of the global voices in championing climate change actions.
As we face the escalating impacts of climate change, food security, and the need for green transition, we do need to work together and come up with innovative, sustainable solutions that address interconnected challenges.
And so Africa's potential is vast. We are endowed with mineral resources. So Africa's potential is vast. It all faces challenges such as political instability, infrastructure deficits, and climate change, like you said.
United Arab Emirates is a desert country, but it receives millions of tourists because of the policies in conserving the environment. The Prime Minister also had an engagement with the Undersecretary in charge of Economic Development, Sheikh Rashid Abdul Karim. The Premier informed him of Uganda's readiness to support Elite Grow, a UAE company to promote tea and coffee processing in Uganda.
And we continue to learn lessons and technologies as a country. And so we believe our partnership with Elite Agro still starts. Elite Agro had promised to establish a market in the country, in Kampala, to auction tea. Because once we go to Kenya, that is Mombasa, we face a lot of challenges. We don't regulate the policies there. And so Ugandan tea is bought cheaper.
See what has been stopping the progress of that company. I'm very sure we've seen the quality, we've seen the massive plantation that you have in terms of the coffee especially. And we will try to kick off that project again, especially when you had mentioned about the regulation having an auction.
The United Arab Emirates investors are also interested in developing the source of the Nile as a global tourist destination.
Jingo Francis reporting from Abu Dhabi. Now, the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has asked the Church to pray for them as leaders. She was speaking during a guided tour to assess the progress of the construction of the new All Saints Cathedral at Nakasero, where she contributed 50 million Ugandan shillings towards the consecration ceremony of the cathedral. We have more in this story.
The project of constructing a cathedral at Nakasero is almost to completion. The interior work for 5,000 seating capacity is complete, where the exterior work is still in progress. The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Mong, took a guided tour on the progress.
Do we have parking now? Whenever I would park there, when you come out of church, you'll get, they have removed everything from the car. They have removed everything. But I am happy that now All Saints has a parking of 150 cars. So you'll give comfort to the Christians even when they come and worship. You give them comfort that their property is safe.
The chairperson building committee, Vivian Igundura, says Sunday was the last time they prayed from the old structure.
The two lifts we showed that are still not yet done are going to cost us, the estimate we've been given is $100,000 each. I think put into Uganda shillings at the moment is about 360 million each. Syria, we are going to go for Friday, after which it will actually remain in use. We will have said bye.
Worldwide All Saints' Day will be celebrated on 1st November, the day they have chosen to carry out the consecration of the Nakasero Cathedral. According to Prime Minister Emeritus Amama Mbabazi, the new structure is befitting of the size of a cathedral, unlike the old one that had capacity of only 400 Christians.
That at long last, we have a fitting size of a cathedral. As she says, it's going 400 to 5,000. And we are going to be the biggest single auditorium in East Africa, a place that can seat 5,000 at a go. But actually, the bigger support in terms of money has come from well-wishers. It has been great, the support we have had, the 18 billion that has already been spent. We expect to raise another 7, as she said, the 7 billion to do the final touches that remain. So thank you for coming to give us support.
The cathedral will officially be consecrated on Friday. I'm Navka Farida and Dan Lugemwa in Kampala.
Now to matters pertaining to health, and the Directorate of Public Health at Kampala Capital City Authority has reported a rapid rise in Mpox cases within its 5 divisions, with Kawempe taking the highest. The acting director for public health, Sarah Zalwango, told UBC that 89 cases have been confirmed in the Kampala area, with 10 cases reported in the last 24 hours. Residents are therefore urged to practice good hygiene, including frequent hand washing and avoiding contact with infected individuals. We have more in this story.
Officials have reported a rapid increase in cases emanating from Kawempe Division, which has the highest number of confirmed Mpox cases. The Kampala Capital City Authority, KCCA, and the Ministry of Health want an immediate preventive measure.
Mpox outbreak, so far we have 89 confirmed cases as Kampala, though in the greater Kampala metropolitan area we have 127 cases. In the last 24 hours, we confirmed 10 cases of Mpox, and they are across the division.
Residents are urged to practice good hygiene, frequent hand washing, and avoid contact with infected individuals.
The highest division with a high number of Mpox cases confirmed is Kawempe Division. So we are calling upon the community to be vigilant, to practice hygiene. Good hygiene, wash your hands as frequently as possible, avoid contact with someone who has been confirmed to have the case. Let us know so that we come and do an investigation. We'll list the cases, and if there are any suspected cases, let us know so that we separate that person. We take the person to a treatment center.
The KCCA has established a toll-free helpline at 0800 299 000 to assist anyone or seeking advice. Symptoms of Mpox include fever, skin rash, and loss of appetite. Officials stress that early medical advice is essential, as some cases may develop severe complications among vulnerable groups like young children, pregnant mothers, and individuals with weak immune systems.
To get an alert of the case, we send the response teams to this particular patient. They do the assessment, they alert Ministry of Health, we transport them. If they are suspected, we line list these cases. It's a response team, and then we follow up the contacts until that time when we feel like now they are safe.
Meanwhile, KCCA is also tackling another challenge: waste management. The city has launched a new campaign to improve waste disposal.
We are increasing awareness among the residents of Kampala regarding those practices, and we are encouraging as much as possible so that we sort at source. And moving forward, when we've given enough information, we are going to only transport the waste that you cannot dispose of, but all the recyclables we are linking with the stakeholders to take such recyclables.
Residents are also urged to report unhygienic conditions like broken sewage pipes or illegal sewage dumping, especially after heavy rains.
There was an institution that was releasing sewage within the community. We went there, we confirmed, and we've arrested the culprits. So we call upon the community to collaborate with us, and we should take it as a responsibility.
The Directorate of Public Health at KCCA stresses maintaining personal hygiene and a clean environment to prevent disease. Justine Nakami, UBC News.
Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, has reiterated that the rationalization of the Uganda Coffee Development Authority is an administrative way of rearranging how the agency will function within the government. He refuted allegations of tribalism. He was addressing the media on the highlights of the cabinet resolutions at Uganda Media Center here in Kampala.
Last week, the Coffee Bill 2024 that is meant to merge Uganda Coffee Development Authority in the Ministry of Agriculture and More Industry and Fisheries was brought before Parliament for debate. However, a number of members of Parliament have opposed the bill. They urge that this will affect the production, quality and market of coffee.
If they are merged, what will be the issue related to the roles they have been performing? How these roles will be affected? Therefore affecting the achievements.
About our lives. This is not about merging one organization and the other. We are saying this agency has the sole responsibility of regulation.
Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, has warned against politicking the nationalization of Uganda Coffee Development Authority.
It has nothing to do with the tribes or regions. In any case, coffee is grown in many parts of this country. We are just shifting it to be housed directly in the ministry. Even now it's under the ministry, but now it will just be a unit or a department within the Ministry of Agriculture, and it will continue carrying out the same functions as it does.
Government resolved on nationalization due to existence of a number of agencies that serve nearly the same purpose and to cut expenses.
Spending up to 755 billion Uganda shillings for the staff or civil servants who are in the ministries, whereas in the agencies we are paying 955 billion shillings. So we're spending more in terms of salary to the employees in agencies compared to those who are in the ministries and the districts, local governments.
The minister also told journalists about government decision not to renew their contract with Umeme.
It was given in 2005. So early next year, it will be coming to 20 years. of Umeme. And this concession should be ending on the 28th of February 2025. That we shall not be renewing this concession for Umeme, but we shall allow them 1 month of transition, which will end on the 31st of March next year, 2025. And then the distribution function of the electricity will get back into the hands of.
The week-long cabinet resolution meeting was presided over President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Matters related to taxation, budget funding and resource mobilization were discussed, concluded and adopted. Susan Nabo, good day. Joseph Muyingo for UBC News.
Now, the Buganda Parliamentary Caucus has set a team of lawyers to scrutinize the National Coffee Amendment Bill 2024 before Parliament resumes business. The team of MPs include Councillor Yusuf Nsibambi, Medad Segona, Richard Lumu and Hanifa Nabukeda, who will share to the caucus the final position to consider on the controversial bill. The Buganda caucus has also set up another team to assess President Yoweri Museveni's recent guidance on rationalization, especially coffee.
In his conclusion during the Monday dossier, President Yoweri Museveni says rationalizing the Uganda Coffee Development Authority will sweep what he described as parasite board, general manager and personal secretary. The president says the move will save the country from the comedy of several authorities milking from the consolidated fund. The letter shared through various social media platforms of the president was the third in less than a week, guiding on the rationalization of government agencies' agenda, especially coffee. Parliament, which is processing the proposed regulations, is divided into sections in support and against the National Coffee Amendment Bill 2024. Butambala County MP Mwanga Chivumbi is the chairperson Buganda Parliamentary Caucus, leading to set up a team to assess the president's guidance.
So we've set up a committee that is going to answer him line by line on all his arguments, because they are easily impeachable, and we think we shall do the needful.
The MPs, who have strongly distanced themselves from the agenda to transfer the functions of Uganda Coffee Development Authority into the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, have set up a team of legal minds from the opposition to scrutinize the coffee bill.
Headed by Honorable Yusuf Nsibambi, Honorable Lumu, Nabukeda and others, our legal group here in the caucus.
In the last plenary session, the bill succeeded on the second reading after division of lobby voting, which left tongues shaking, provoking tribal sentiments.
Therefore, this coffee bill, literally, because of our utterances, no longer meets the test and the standard of a bill, of a legislation that Parliament can enact. But no session will proceed without a clear explanation and an apology on this issue. No matter what happens wherever she works, no bishop, no what, you not, even if you visit the Kabako of Buganda.
These MPs have set other conditions if the plenary is to resume and consider the bill.
And we must not be dragged or scared to back off what is just for our people and what is right for our people. Farming is the cornerstone of our country.
So what I want, or what we should do next, is one thing that at least even if it means fighting, we shall fight.
The National Coffee Amendment Bill is among the proposed legislations in the process of rationalization. Government wants a 3-year transition period to allow the Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries to build capacity to handle the tasks of UCDA. Daniel Mugoya, Farida Namfuka, UBC News.
Meanwhile, Buganda Kingdom has urged members of Parliament and the government to reconsider the ongoing efforts of merging its institutions into ministries that oversee them. Buganda says merging Uganda Coffee Development Authority will affect the quality of Uganda's coffee industry.
Kabaka subjects from counties of Buddu, Busiro and Bugerere, mainly local coffee farmers, gathered at Buganda Kingdom headquarters at Bulange, Mengo. Addressing the gathering, Cathedral of Uganda Charles Peter Mayiga about the proposed coffee bill aimed at merging the Uganda Coffee Development Authority, Mayiga states that the kingdom does not support it.
UCDA's role is to render advice regarding farming methods, minding the quality of the crop on the farm and after harvest, to increase the quantity of the crop produced, to popularize the drinking of coffee, and to study and explore the byproducts that can be got from the coffee bean. So if one wants the coffee farmer to earn as much as possible from his or her coffee, one needs to retain UCDA.
All the eyes move this side.
Mayiga questioned politicians who support the bill, emphasizing that coffee farmers do not support, urging them to take action because it will affect Uganda's coffee sector, thus advising parliamentarians to avoid discussing the bill basing on tribes, emphasizing that coffee is not for Uganda but for all of Uganda.
Ebintu by'otategedde ebifaanana okubonereza Abaganda gw'ate etteeka lyabadde ly'Abaganda alyoka ayogere ku Baganda yampeereza obubaka tuwuliziganya yabyegaanye mu bubaka bwe yampeereza wabula ababaka abava mu Buganda abava mu Bugisu abava mu Ankole n'awalala awalimu emmwanyi baagala UCDA esigalewo. Lwaki ebirowoozo by'ebitundu ebyo tebissibwamu kitiibwa?
Mayiga urged the government to reconsider the proposal of merging UCDA and called for an increase in funding to support farmers.
And ensure that it is funded further to play those 5 roles at the moment. There has been a number of unsettling attempts by government concerning coffee. They started with the coffee bill of 2020, which had bad clauses like one stipulating imprisoning a farmer who abandons his or her farm. Then there was a plan to give a woman who knows nothing about coffee, she's called Penetti, monopoly over the coffee we have grown with our hands. And they were giving her power to determine the price to offer to farmers and the quantity that she desired. Coffee belongs to the farmers, so government should respect their wishes regarding this matter.
The Member of Parliament for Kalungu East, Francis Katabazi, expressed their commitment as parliamentarians to stand against the bill.
All members of Parliament who think UCDA should not be rationalized into the ministry. Actually, the clause is saying it should be abolished, clause 5, and it should be abolished and its roles transferred to the mother ministry, which is Ministry of Agriculture. Ministry of Agriculture has failed on all fronts according to Auditor General's report. On all fronts.
Some coffee farmers had their views on the proposed bill.
Katebaze omubaka oyo Katabaze ne banne abalwaniridde emmwanyi okulaba nga tefa mu kukkuta amala gagitwala. Tujja kukola kyonna ekisoboka okutwala Buganda ku ntikko naye nga mu Buganda budduye eri ku ntikko.
In another development, over 50 million shillings has been raised from people of Wudu, Busiru and Bugerere towards supporting the kingdom developments through Luwalu Lwafe campaign. Justine Nakami and Andrew Sebira, UBC News.
We'll now take a short break and return with much more.
Winning requires the stamina of a lion. But most importantly, it requires that you carry that water up the top of the hill. However, you must use a spoon. Take the water now. Go, run, climb up the hill. 72 spoons. Faster, go, go. Winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Molt Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Welcome back, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, and a warm welcome to those of you just joining us. Now, members of the East African Legislative Assembly have debated, adopted and passed a motion on the recent address of Uganda's president to the regional parliament. The mover of the motion was the chairperson of EALA Uganda chapter, George Stephen Odongo, who described President Yoweri Museveni as a Pan-Africanist. This was during the first meeting of the third session of the 5th Assembly sitting here in Kampala.
We found that some words were similar amongst all of us.
In the endorsements,
let's start from where we have the commonalities, the similarities, and build from there.
The regional parliamentarians hailed President Yoweri Museveni's recent address to the House.
Listening to the president in State House in Entebbe, I realized that knowledge comes with age. He had no written speech, but whatever he spoke was in his fingertips and he was oozing with knowledge.
He also emphasized about trade within East Africa, that it will foster development, and also encourage the East African countries to trade within the East African territory.
The legislators looked at the emphasis on strategic security, regional markets, and wealth creation.
So these four principles, patriotism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy, will help us to deal with the issue of prosperity.
That politics of identity, be it from tribe, from partisan participation, must be fought.
But the question of developing the strategic security is very important for our people to benefit from the market.
This, they say, is the way to go for East Africa.
The customs union, the common market, the monetary union, and ultimately the political federation. That's exactly what he explained. So as legislators, we have a duty to make sure all these pillars are achieved.
Because for those of us who live in Uganda, we have heard him. He can never miss an opportunity at any gathering to talk about the importance of the East African community.
Our forefathers' vision of pursuing a common currency is still on our agenda. It has to be something that should be expedited so that as East Africans move within the region, they are able to move freely and use a common currency.
It was a culmination of a 3-hour-long debate initiated by the EALA Uganda chapter chairperson, George Stephen Odongo. His motion sought to debate the content of President Yoweri Museveni's address to the House.
I'm grateful to His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for the clarity of vision and guidance on the optimal policies, strategies, and frameworks required to drive the vision for a prosperous, competitive, secure, stable, and politically united East Africa.
And I invite us to reflect on the journey that led to the breakup of the community in 1977. You will see it was very small issues that could have been addressed. It was days of application, it was an agreed upon budget, it was border disputes, it was inter-partner state relations.
Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Assembly that the Assembly appreciates the address of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, on the rationale, vision, and guidance regarding the EAC integration.
The motion was adopted and passed. Earlier, Uganda's Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among-Anet, extended similar appeals to the regional legislators.
Where there are disagreements, let us not shy from addressing them, because peace and security among member states is a catalyst to economic prosperity and political federation. Political wars have riped nations. Such wars should not have place in East Africa.
President Yoweri Museveni addressed the East African Legislative Assembly on 22nd October 2024.
They started producing.
His call was for the regional legislators to ensure full realization of the East African integration. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Thanks, Henry, for that story there. Now, the Minister of State for Youth and Children Affairs, Balamo Bargahara, has hailed a management of TMR International Hospital in Kampala for extending health and reproductive services to the community. Balam was at the cocktail engagement hosted at this medical facility in Nalia, Kampala.
Stakeholders from the healthcare profession, insurance companies, the corporate circles and government were at TMR International Hospital in Nalia, Kampala to draw ideas on how best the facility can enhance community healthcare. Key figures from the healthcare and corporate sectors targeted fostering collaboration and dialogue to aid the industry.
Great pleasure and honor to be here today to speak to everyone who has come today to celebrate with us our journey, our partnerships, and our shared commitment in advancing healthcare service in Uganda.
The hospital unveiled a medical imaging facility which is designed to meet Uganda's growing demand for advanced diagnostics.
Let me take this opportunity to unveil and launch this imaging center, probably the best in Uganda.
The center is equipped with cutting and digital X-ray systems, a big breakthrough to deliver precise, efficient and compassionate diagnostic care.
So referral hospitals, we should support whoever does it, like you are supplementing what we can't do at Mulago now. Mulago has the capacity to accommodate everyone, as they say, but not everyone can be accommodated there. So TMRI, you have really given us a chance.
And so this was a platform to solicit ideas on strengthening healthcare standards and access to quality care for all.
Government cannot absorb all the nurses, and we are releasing nurses, doctors every day. That's why even we can't afford sometimes to pay for medical interns to go for internship. So now when you provide employment to the good people like Penro and others, this is the best you can do for Uganda.
According to the organizers, the facility is opening up its hands to partnerships and knowledge sharing.
Our first milestone after opening doors was in 2018, when we became the first private hospital in Uganda to have cochlear implant. It was a big milestone because that time, and I think still now, we did not have the specialized specialists in this country that can perform that surgery. And we had so many children who were born when they couldn't hear that actually needed this service. Yes, it was costly, but we went ahead to collaborate with one of the professors from New York, Professor Roland, who came here and started this program.
Justine Nakami, Robert Onyango, UBC News.
So we don't
Now, UMCAT School of Journalism has passed out girls empowered with hands-on skills in electronic media, photography and videography. And the theme, Empowered Through the Lens, the training targeted girls who dropped out of school with digital skills in videography.